Hello, I'm Debbie Bell-Hosking for FinextraTV, and I'm joined by Scott Olson of Outseer, and we're talking about the upcoming Global Fraud and Scams Trend Report. So welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Debbie.
That word trend. So what trends do you see exerting the most significant influence on fraud threats and mitigation in 2023, the past year?
Yeah, so great question. At Outseer, we actually protect the brands of our customers significantly and monitor things like the dark web and fraudster networks for evolving threats. So we have some unique insights into how those threats are evolving. And so in particular, we're highlighting three primary threats. One is AI-powered scams. With the rise of generative AI like ChatGPT, fraudsters are taking advantage of that. Second trend is around malware-as-a-Service and its use and impact on especially digital banking. And then finally is fraud over faster payment rails, things like scams and mules using faster payments to be more effective.
So let's go back to that first point you made, AI. What impact is AI having on global fraud and scams?
AI is getting a lot of attention. In the fraud world, it's no different. It's having a massive impact. It's having a massive impact for good as well as for bad. On the good side of it, predictive AI has been around a long time, and that's been used to provide signals of whether a transaction like a payment is valid or fraud. Generative AI has positive uses as well, but in particular, generative AI is dramatically impacting the effectiveness of fraud and scams. As you can imagine, many of us have been through training, right, to prevent social engineering, either educational or with your company. And a lot of that is looking for things like emails that have typos or grammatical errors or things that are, kind of indicators that this could be coming from a fraudster and not the legitimate user. Those things will be a thing of the past, right? Generative AI can eliminate the grammatical problems and customize and tailor the messages to the audience that they're going after. Not only that, they can be using multimedia, so deepfakes. It can involve voice, audio, it can involve video, as well as emails and other text. So fraudsters are leveraging this significantly to be more effective, and as a result, there's going to be more phishing sites, more malware, and more problems for consumers.
Okay, and you mentioned malware there. How would you describe malware as a service? And also, how have you seen malware threats change in the last year?
Yeah, so malware is another thing that's been around for a long time. Malware as a service in particular is providing the means for unsophisticated fraudsters to take advantage of vastly compromised consumer devices. Malware takes advantage of command and control servers that they can use to run software on infected consumer laptops, but more and more frequently now it's their mobile phones. Malware as a service in particular allows these command and control servers to be used by fraudsters to execute malicious programs on consumer devices. So one trend that we saw that was particularly concerning was the release of source code from the Hook malware. And this was an Android banking Trojan. And what it allowed the fraudsters to do is overlay legitimate banking apps on your mobile phone with malware. So it changes your user interface, they can steal your personal information, and then they can execute fraudulent transactions on your behalf. And so as a part of the report that's upcoming, we saw about a 108% increase in fraud on behalf of the banks and other consumer brands that we protected. We saw a 4,000% increase in malware attacks. Dramatic. And with this Hook malware in particular, it was released, the source code was released in about the middle of 2023. And we saw over 200 brand new command and control servers for Hook just in the fourth quarter of last year. So we continue to monitor on behalf of our clients, and we have takedown services to help protect them But as you can imagine, it's measures and countermeasures whenever it comes to fraudsters.
So scams and mules, they are not new. They've been around for a long time. Why is there attention on that now?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, scams have been around forever, right? Even before computers, right? Social engineering, and they used to be called cons, have been kind of in the DNA of the bad guy. So scams and mules are not new, but what is new is the movement of money over faster payment rails. And so you have an instant payment capability for the bad guys to move the money that they're stealing from consumers. And so this makes scams much more dangerous. When you have an authorized payment from a consumer, they may be scammed by somebody that is in, let's say, a romance scam that says, I'm sick and I need medicine, or I need a plane ticket, or whatever it might be. They wire the money over a faster payment rail, and then they move it through what's called money mules. Mules are just accounts that they use to move money between fraudulent accounts so that they can't be recovered. And so these two things go hand in hand, and faster payments makes the problem more severe. So what we've seen is banks that we talk to, 56% of them say scams are their number one issue. And yet only 24% of them say that they're prepared for scams adequately. In fact, 53% said that they were not prepared. They felt unprepared. And so this continues to be a problem for them. They're figuring out how to take care of these problems. And it's one of the things that we're working with our customers to try to address.
Thank you, Scott. Interesting to find out about your upcoming report, but to listen to these findings, they sound very relatable and interesting to be talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie.